Financial planning is a long-term process, not merely a document you create and then stick in a drawer. Today, we're going to discuss 3 steps to give you the best chance of success while preparing for the financial planning process. Before you develop that plan, there's certain actions you should take to give you the best chance of achieving your long-term goals. Welcome to Financial Planning for Feds. My name is Ed Smith from Valor Wealth Partners. We are dedicated to educating federal employees on how to maximize their government benefits by developing and executing a financial plan. We hope you enjoy this episode. Before we look at the 3 steps to start the financial planning process, I want to first ask 2 questions. First one, how important is this to you and your family? Now, it's okay if it's not a high priority, but you need to know that if you don't put in the effort, the results you're going to get may not be at the level you want. The second question is, how much time do you want to spend to get the correct answers? This reminds me, when I was back in high school, we didn't have a lot of money, and when my car would break down, I'd have to fix it myself. What this meant was getting educated, going out and buying a children's book, figuring out what parts I needed, and then buying the tools I needed to fix that problem. Now, it could have been as simple as fixing the brakes, meaning learning how to put the pads in, how to bleed the brake lines, or maybe it was fixing a transmission. No matter what it was, it took a lot of time to get it correct, because with either a complex or a simple problem, you want the correct answer. When you're looking at the financial planning process, if you're willing to spend the time, then you can go out and do those same types of things, get educated, and the right tools you need to be able to achieve it. If you're enjoying the content that we provide in our videos, please hit the subscribe button and like the videos so we know that what we're providing is beneficial for you and your family. In the comments section, if you want to get a little bit more in-depth on this whole episode, we're going to have an ebook for you that you can download and reference it back. Let's get started on those 3 steps to start the financial planning process. And please pay special attention to the 3rd one because, in my opinion, it's the most important. The first step is to define your objectives. What we mean by this is that you need to know the scope of the engagement so you can define how much depth you're going to go in each topic so you can get the answers that you want. An example of this is investments. Some people only want to look at the level of investments and what's happening with those investments. This could be your TSP. Now you might want to figure out which life cycle fund you want, or maybe you want to get more involved and pick out the individual funds. This could be other investments that you have, and you're looking at the tax sensitivity of certain investments, risk levels, or how everything interrelates but only with your investments. Another area when you're trying to define your objectives might be the employee benefits. Now, we develop reports that are just on your employee benefits. So it compares your FEGLI A, your FEGLI B, the basic, and it shows you what the cost is and what the benefits that you're getting. Could also look at the FEHB, your TSP, your pensions. And that's all you care about is what you're going to receive from the federal government, either while you're employed or after you're retired. Another area could be debt. Some people just need to get out of debt, and that's their highest priority, so they don't want to focus on other things like retirement. They just want to focus on what is good debt, what is bad debt. How do I get so I'm paying all of this cost and not receiving any benefit? What we tend to focus on is the comprehensive planning, how everything interrelates with each other. Your investments, your employee benefits, your debt, relationships, estate planning, taxes. So comprehensive planning, in our opinion, looks at everything in your life and the whole scope of what we're trying to achieve. Now, that doesn't mean that it's bad just to focus on one thing and have the priorities on that area. We can still help you out in those different areas, but you need to know what is important to you so you can get the results that you want for you and your family. The second step is to recruit your team. What we mean by this is who's going to do the heavy lifting in the financial planning process. It's sort of like if you were to build your own house. You could do it yourself, or you could hire a contractor to coordinate all of the specialists to be able to make sure the house is built correctly. This would mean the foundation, the framing, the electrical, the plumbing, the finish work. Now, as a do-it-yourselfer, you could either learn all of these things, or you could hire people as well. So who's the person that's responsible for making sure all of the parts work together and getting everything to be correct for you? Let's look at these people individually of who could do the work. The first area, like we talked about, was do it yourself. This takes a lot of years and experience to learn the proper way to do things. Sometimes in those years of experience, you make a lot of mistakes that could be very costly. It's just not the expertise, which you could find online these days. You just have to be careful that the information that you're getting is specific to your unique situation. Because even though the information might be very good, it might not meet your needs. The other thing you have to look at is how all of these things coordinate in making sure you get the right results for you. A lot of the federal employees that I've worked with in the past have been doing it themselves for years. This is very understandable because a lot of the benefits that you have as a federal employee is readily accessible and it's easy to understand a lot of the basics. When you start getting into more complex needs, sometimes the information gets more confusing, and this is where people can make serious mistakes. But if you have the knowledge, that's great. The other thing you have to look at, besides just knowing what is going on, is the emotional decisions that you're going to make. Emotional choices can be very difficult to make. Taking yourself out of a situation to be able to make sure you're making the best decision for you and your family is very critical. If you don't want to do this yourself, one of the options you have is to work with a commissionable salesperson. These are people that either on the investment or insurance side are being paid to give you a certain product. While you're paying for it, you're actually paying the product company and not the individual for unbiased advice. Now, this isn't saying that they are bad. They can actually be very cost effective. What you have to make sure is that the conflicts of interest that are in place are being balanced by the ethics of the person or group of people that are recommending these products to you. Sometimes financial plans are used as a tool for you to buy more product. Another option is for you to hire a fiduciary fee-only financial planner. When you hire a person like this, you are paying for the advice that they give, not the products that they're selling. This reduces the conflicts of interest and tries to keep them on the same side of the equation as you when you're out looking for solutions for your financial plan. Knowing that they're working for you instead of for somebody else could be very beneficial for you. Many of these financial planners are certified financial planner professionals that follow a strict code of ethics and have a fiduciary duty to work in your best interest at all times. Whether it's doing it yourself or hiring a professional, you want to be able to make sure that the team that you recruit has your best interests at heart and is working to put all of these pieces together so that at the end of the day, the results you get are not just a question, but an answer to what you and your family needs for long-term achievement of your goals. The third step is a plan to overcome procrastination. To me, this is the most important one to focus on. The reason is because many people can develop an incredible plan, but if they fail to execute it, or they stop the process before it's finished, they may not achieve the goals that they're going after. So let's look at how we can overcome procrastination. One of the areas that we have available to us today is a lot of systems. Now, We've had systems like a pen and a pad before. Maybe we're looking at an Excel spreadsheet or some other type of computer software program that can help you out in a very simple way. These tools can be very cost effective and beneficial to keeping you on track, but also tracking your past activities so you can go back to see how well you've done, which helps motivate you to keep going forward. Beyond the simple tools that you have that are free, there's also tools that are more complex. There's a lot of software out there that's available that can keep you going, can track, put it in your calendar, can actually give you rewards. So there's a lot of programs out there that'll keep you going. We're actually going to include a link down below in the comment section for one of the tools that we use. It's Blocks. It's just a tool for you to be able to look at some of the resources that we have to be able to see some of the fun ways that people can stay on target and keep looking for some of these solutions. Another thing to look at is the people in your life. Who motivates you to keep you going? Who's in your corner and helps you go forward? These people also have to be able to call you out when you're having a cheat day. It's okay to have a cheat day every once in a while, but not every day. So the people that are in your corner not only motivate you, but they also make sure that they keep you responsible for the actions that you're doing and try to keep you on track to keep you progressing towards the goals you're trying to achieve. Sometimes it's software, sometimes it's people, but we all need something to keep us going and motivated to achieving our goals. We are all going to run into obstacles that are going to make us want to stop or slow down the progress that we're making. And once we slow down that progress, it's easier and easier to stop altogether of what we're trying to achieve. So however you work and whatever works best for you, you want to have a plan in place to give you the best chance of success. One of the things you want to do is look at your past and see what have you achieved that took a lot of energy and effort. These things could be an athletic achievement, an educational achievement, maybe a new job, and it took time and effort to get to that level. So what was it that got you to that level? Was it a software program? Was it people? Was it just your drive? Was it you tracking on a calendar? Whatever it was to get you to that success, is there a way to duplicate those activities to get you to go forward in the future? Maybe it's something new you need to create. I like to use a reward system. So when I achieve a small milestone, I get a small reward on the way to that big reward. This keeps me motivated and emotionally stimulated to keep going and progressing further and further. It generally takes about 90 days for a person to build up a good habit. Once you've been able to build up that good habit, it's easier and easier to keep on the path to success. I want to quickly revisit those two questions I asked earlier. How important is this to you and your family? And how much time do you want to spend to get the correct answers? Hopefully in this episode, we've given you a better understanding of how to answer those questions. In the financial planning process, it's very important to go at it with the right mindset. Thank you for your time today, and we look forward to providing more educational content for you in the future. In our next video, we are going to look at the 4 FEHB must-haves. It's very important to review on an annual basis your health status, changes in family, and the plans, because they do change occasionally. Thank you for your time today, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.